Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Lisa, and I love everything indie, colorful, eyeshadow. I love makeup in general, but hey, you know what? Welcome back to another episode of Music Inside the Makeup, and we are going to be talking about Metallica. Metallica, one of my all-time favorite heavy metal bands, okay? All-time favorite. Yes, I have seen Metallica in concert years and years and years and years ago. How long are we talking? Y'all remember Danzig? Yeah. Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies had opened up for Metallica. It was an outdoor venue, and it was up in New Hampshire, and it just brings back so many amazing memories. And the two songs that I chose from Metallica are Holier Than Thou and Nothing Else Matters. The indie brand that I have chosen to go along with these two songs is from Unearthly Cosmetics. Y'all already know, if you've been with me for a minute, how much I adore Amanda and her brand. DEVOUR and LORE. So Holier Than Thou kind of goes with LORE, and then Nothing Else Matters, DEVOUR. Now, I mean, I could have also chosen Gargoyle for Nothing Else Matters, just because it's more moody, more, I guess, on the subdued Metallica side, right? And here is what Gargoyle is given. But I don't know, I might bring Gargoyle in. You know me, I never know what I'm gonna do until I come on here, the creative process, with you guys. If you don't know, every second Saturday of the month, I do Music Inside the Makeup, and if you haven't guessed it already, I choose one of my favorite bands, choose one or two songs, and then I choose one of my favorite indie brands, and one or two palettes that kind of go along with the theme of either the band aesthetic or the songs that I choose. So if that is something that you are interested in watching, hopefully you subscribe and you stay a while. Say hi. Have you seen Metallica in concert? Grab your brushes, turn up Metallica, get your coffee, your water, your toddy, what have you, and come on back and let's read a little bit about Metallica and create a look together afterwards. Okay, so I have my granny glasses on. 31,648,144 listeners a month, including myself. Metallica formed in 1981 by drummer Lars Ulrich and guitarist and vocalist James Hetfield, and has become one of the most influential and commercially successful rock bands in history, having sold 120 million albums worldwide and generating more than 15 billion streams. Wow. While playing to millions of fans on literally all 7 continents. They have scored several multi-platinum albums, including 1991's Metallica, commonly referred to as the Black Album, with sales of nearly 18 million copies in the United States alone, making it the best-selling album in the history of SoundScan. Metallica has also garnered numerous awards and accolades, including 9 Grammy Awards, 2 American Music Awards, and multiple MTV Video Music Awards, and were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum in 2009. In December 2013, Metallica made history when they performed a rare concert in Antarctica, becoming the first act to ever play all 7 continents, all within a year, and earning themselves a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. Did not know this. Metallica's 12th studio album, 72 Seasons, was released on April 14th, 2023, on Metallica's own Blackened Recordings record label. And the band is currently on the M72 tour, a 2-year continent-spanning tour with 2 nights in each market and no repeat sets. And now this is public knowledge on their Spotify account. I am going to go over to their Wikipedia account because I want to get a little further in depth here. Yeah, here we go. It's an American heavy metal band. It was formed in Los Angeles in 81, like I said, by vocalist, guitarist James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, the drummer, and has been based in San Francisco for most of its career. The band's fast tempos, instrumentals, and aggressive musicianship made them one of the founding big 4 bands of thrash metal alongside Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. Metallica's current lineup comprises founding members and primary songwriters Hetfield and Ulrich, longtime lead guitarist Kirk Hammett, and bassist Robert Trujillo, guitarist Dave Mustaine, who formed Megadeth after being fired from Metallica, and bassist Ron McGovney and Cliff Burton and Jason Newsted are former members of the band. Metallica first found commercial success with the release of its 3rd album, Master of Puppets, in 86, which is often cited as one of the best metal albums of all time. The band's next album, And Justice for All, gave Metallica its first Grammy Award nomination. Its 5th album, Metallica, from 91, was a turning point for the band that saw its transition from its thrash metal roots. The album appealed to more mainstream audience, achieving substantial commercial success and selling more than 16 million copies in the United States to date, making it the best-selling album of the SoundScan era. After experimenting with different genres and directions in subsequent releases, Metallica returned to its thrash metal roots with its 9th album, Death Magnetic, in 2008, which drew similar praise to that of the band's earlier albums. The band's 11th and most recent album, 72 Seasons, again, just released in 23. In 2000, Metallica led the case against the peer-to-peer file sharing service Napster, in which the band and several other artists filed lawsuits against the service for sharing their copyright-protected material without consent. Eventually reaching a settlement, Metallica was the subject of the acclaimed 2004 documentary film Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, which documented the troubled production of the band's 8th album, Saint Anger, which came out in 2003, and the internal struggles within the band at the time. In 2009, Metallica was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The band co-wrote the screenplay for and starred alongside Dan DeHaan in the 2013 concert film Metallica Through the Never, in which the band performed live against a fictional thriller storyline. Metallica is one of the most commercially successful bands of all time, having sold more than 163 million albums worldwide as of 23, and is in the 3rd best-selling music artist since Nielsen's SoundScan began tracking scales in 91. Having sold 58 million albums in the United States as of 17, the band has released 11 studio albums, 4 live albums, including 2 performances with the San Francisco Symphony, 12 video albums, 1 cover album, 2 extended plays, 37 singles, and 39 music videos. Metallica has won 10 Grammy Awards from 26 nominations and had 6 consecutive had 6 consecutive studio albums from Metallica through Hardwired to Self-Destruct in 2016. Debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Metallica has been listed as one of the greatest artists of all time by magazines such as Rolling Stone, which ranked the band in 61st place on its list of 100 greatest artists of all time. So, as I had stated before, they were formed in Los Angeles in 81. Lars Ulrich, who is Danish, he's the drummer, placed an advertisement in Los Angeles newspaper, The Recycler. in which the advertisement read, "Drummer looking for other metal musicians to jam with." Tigers of Pantang, Diamond Head, and Iron Maiden, guitarist James Hetfield, and Hugh Tanner of Leather Charm answered the advertisement. Although he had not formed a band, Ulrich asked Metal Blade Records founder Brian Slagel, I believe that is, if he could record a song for the label's upcoming compilation album, Metal Massacre. Slagel accepted. The band was officially formed on October 28th, 1981, 5 months after Ulrich and Hetfield first met. The band name came from Ulrich's friend Ron Quintana, I believe is how you say that, who was thinking of names for a fanzine and was considering Metal Mania or Metallica. After hearing the two names, Ulrich wanted the latter for his band, so he suggested Quintana use Metal Mania instead. Dave Mustaine replied to the advertisement for a lead guitarist. Ulrich and Hetfield recruited him after seeing his expensive guitar equipment. Hetfield took vocal duties at the band's first gig, which took place in March 1982 at Radio City in Anaheim. With newly recruited bassist Ron McGovney, they were chosen to open for British heavy metal band Saxon. At the second gig of their 82 US tour, Metallica recorded its first demo, Power Metal, whose name was inspired by McGovney's early business cards in early 82. The band played as a 5-piece at their fourth gig, which took place in April 82 in Costa Mesa, with lead guitarist Brad Parker. Though he did not last, according to Mustaine, the band was fed up. With auditioning guitar players, and Hetfield became the de facto guitarist, in addition to the vocalist. Hetfield played guitar live for the first time at the band's fifth gig in May of 82. Metal Massacre 1 was released on June 14th, 82. Early pressings listed the band incorrectly as Metallica, and it is spelled here Metallica, which angered the band. Hetfield sang and played both bass and rhythm guitar, while Lars Ulrich played drums, and Lloyd Grant played a guitar solo. The term thrash metal was coined in February 84 by Kerrang! Journalist Malcolm Dome in reference to Anthrax's song Metal Thrashing Mad. Prior to this, Hetfield referred to Metallica's sound as power metal. In late 82, Ulrich and Hetfield attended a show at the West Hollywood nightclub Whiskey A Go-Go, which featured bassist Cliff Burton in the band Trauma. The two were blown away by Burton's use of a wah-wah pedal and asked him to join Metallica. Hetfield and Mustaine wanted McGovney to leave because they thought he didn't contribute anything. He just followed. Although Burton initially declined the offer, by the end of the year, he accepted on the condition that the band moved to El Cerrito in the San Francisco Bay Area. Metallica's first live performance with Burton was at the nightclub The Stone in March 83, and the first recording to feature Burton was the Megaforce demo 1983. Metallica was ready to record their debut album, but when Metal Blade was unable to cover the cost, they began looking for other options. Concert promoter Jonathan Johnny Z Zazula, who had heard the demo No Life to Leather 1982, offered to broker a record deal between Metallica and New York City-based record labels. After those record labels showed no interest, Zazula borrowed enough money to cover the recording budget and signed Metallica to his own label. In 83, Metallica traveled to Rochester, New York to record its debut album, Metal Up Your Ass, which was produced by Paul Curio. Don't know. Anywho, the other members decided to eject Mustaine from the band because of his drug and alcohol abuse and violent behavior just before the recording sessions on April 11th, 1983. Exodus guitarist Kirk Hammett replaced Mustaine the same afternoon. Metallica's first live performance with Hammett was on April 16th, 83 at a nightclub in Dover, New Jersey called The Showplace. The support act was Anthrax's original lineup, which included Dan Lukner, and Neil Turbin. This was the first time the two bands performed live together. Mustaine, who went on to form Megadeth, has expressed his dislike for Hammett in interviews, saying Hammett stole his job. Mustaine was pissed off because he believes Hammett became popular by playing guitar leads that Mustaine had actually written. In an '85 interview with Metal Forces, Mustaine said, "It's real funny how Kirk Hammett ripped off every lead break I'd played on that No Life Till Leather tape and got voted '1 guitarist in Your magazine. On Megadeth's debut album, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good." In '85, Mustaine included the song Mechanics, which Metallica had previously reworked and retitled The Four Horsemen. On Kill 'Em All, Mustaine said he did this to straighten Metallica up because Metallica referred to Mustaine as a drunk and said he could not play guitar. Because of conflicts with its record label and the distributor's refusal to release an album titled Metal Up Your Ass, the album was renamed Kill 'Em All. It was released on Megaforce Records in the US and on Music for Nations in Europe, and peaked at number 155 on the Billboard 286. Although the album was not initially a financial success, it earned Metallica a growing fan base in the underground metal scene. To support the release, Metallica embarked on the Kill 'Em All for One tour with Raven. In February '84, Metallica supported Venom on the 7 Dates of Hell tour, during which the bands performed in front of 7,000 people at the Aardschok Festival in Zwolle, Netherlands. Metallica recorded its second studio album, Ride the Lightning, at Sweet Silence Studios in Copenhagen, Denmark, from February to March '84. It was released on July 27th, '84, and reached number 100 on the Billboard 200. A French printing press mistakenly printed green covers for the album, which are now considered collector's items. Mustaine received writing co-credit for Ride the Lightning and The Call of Tulu. Elektra Records A&R director Michael Elajo and co-founder of Q Prime Management, Cliff Bernstein, attended a Metallica concert in September '84. They were impressed with the performance, signed Metallica to Elektra, and made the band a client of Q Prime. Metallica's growing success was such that the band's British label, Music for Nations, released Creeping Death. As a limited edition single, which sold 40,000 copies, and an import in the US, 2 of the 3 songs on the record, cover versions of Diamond Head's Am I Evil? Yes, I am. and Blitzkrieg appeared on the '88 Elektra reissue of Kill 'Em All. Metallica embarked on its first major European tour with Tank to an average crowd of 1,300. Returning to the US, it embarked on a co-headlining tour with Wasp and support from Armored Saint. Metallica played its largest show at the Monsters of Rock Festival at Donington Park, England on August 17th, '85 with Bon Jovi and Rat, playing 70,000 people. At a show in Oakland, California, at the Day on the Green Festival, the band played to a crowd of 60,000. Metallica's third studio album, Master of Puppets, was recorded at Sweet Silence Studios from September to December '85 and released on March 3rd, '86. The album reached number 29 on the Billboard 200 and spent 72 weeks on the chart. It was the band's first album to be certified gold on November 4th, '86, and was certified 6 times platinum in '03. Steve Huey of AllMusic considered the album the band's greatest achievement. Following the release of the album, Metallica supported Ozzy Osbourne on a US tour, may he rest in peace, the Prince of Darkness. Hetfield broke his wrist while skateboarding. He continued with the tour, performing vocals with the guitar technician John Marshall, playing rhythm guitar. On September 27th, 86, during the European leg of Metallica's Damage Inc. tour, members drew cards to determine which bunks on the tour bus they would sleep in. Burton won and chose to sleep in Hammett's bunk. At around sunrise near Dorp, Sweden, the bus driver lost control and skidded, which caused the bus to overturn several times. Ulrich, Hammett, and Hetfield sustained no serious injuries. However, Burton was pinned under the bus and died. Hetfield said, "I saw the bus lying right on him. I saw his legs sticking out. I freaked. The bus driver, I recall, was trying to yank the blanket out from underneath him to use for other people. I just went, don't fucking do that. I already wanted to kill the bus driver. I don't know if he was drunk or if he hit some ice. All I knew was he was driving and Cliff wasn't alive anymore." Rest in peace. Burton's death left Metallica's future in doubt. The three remaining members decided Burton would want them to carry on, and with the Burton's family's blessings, the band sought a replacement. Roughly 40 people, including Hammett's childhood friend Les Claypool of Primus, Troy Gregory of Prong, and Jason Newsted, formerly of Flotsam and Jetsam, auditioned for the band to fill Burton's spot. Newsted learned Metallica's entire set list. After the audition, Metallica invited him to Tommy's joint in San Francisco. Hetfield, Aldrich, and Hammett decided on Newsted as Burton's replacement. His first live performance with Metallica was at the Country Club in Reseda, California. The members initiated Newsted by tricking him into eating a ball of wasabi. The band finished its tour in February in 87. After Newsted joined Metallica, the band left their El Cerrito practice space, a suburban house formerly rented by sound engineer Mark Whitaker, and dubbed the Metalli Mansion, and relocated to the adjacent cities of Berkeley and Albany, before eventually settling in the Marin County city of San Rafael, north of San Francisco. In March 87, Hetfield again broke his wrist while skateboarding, forcing the band to cancel an appearance on Saturday Night Live on August 21, 87. An all-covers extended play EP titled The 598 EP Garage Days Revisited, was released. The EP was recorded in an effort to use the band's newly constructed recording studio, test Newsted's talents, and to relive grief and stress following the death of Burton. A video titled Cliff 'Em All, commemorating Burton's 3 years in Metallica, was released in 87. The video included bass solos, home videos, and pictures. Metallica's first studio album since Burton's death, And Justice for All, was recorded from January to May 88 and released in September. The album was a commercial success, reaching number 6 on the Billboard 200, and was the band's first album to enter the top 10. The album was certified platinum 9 weeks after its release. There were complaints about the production, however. Steve Huey of AllMusic said Ulrich's drums were clicking more than thudding, and the guitars buzzed thinly. The lack of audible bass in the album also drew widespread criticism. To promote the album, Metallica embarked on a tour called Damaged Justice. Following the release of And Justice for All, Metallica released its debut music video for the song One, which the band performed in an abandoned warehouse. The footage was remixed with the film Johnny Got His Gun. Rather than organize an ongoing licensing deal, Metallica purchased the rights to the film. The remixed video was submitted to MTV with an alternative performance-only version that was held back in case MTV banned the remixed version. MTV accepted the remixed version. The video was viewers' first exposure to Metallica. In '99, it was voted number 38 in MTV's Top 100 Videos of All Time countdown and was featured on the network's 25th anniversary edition of ADD Video, which showcased the most popular videos on MTV in the last 25 years. And this is coming from their account on Wikipedia. So if you want to continue to read more about this badass band who has been around once again for decades, they are icons again in their own right. And when I saw them, again, loved Danzig back in the day, also loved Suicidal Tendencies, but I can guarantee you a majority of us was there to see Metallica for sure, and I have those memories. They will never, ever go away. So without further ado, we are going to be using Unearthly Cosmetics, okay? And we are going to use Lore and Devour. And of course, like I said, the two songs that I have chosen is Holier Than Thou and Nothing Else Matters. So, like I said before, turn up the Metallica, grab your brushes, get your drink, your coffee, your water, your toddy, whatever, and come on back and let's have some fun and create a look together. Please do excuse my hair. I was on TikTok. I did some comedy skits, and one was from the heat, and I had my hat on backwards, so my hair is flat now, and yeah, my lids are already primed. And on this time around, I had used my Sigma base here, and I think this is in Ignite. I should know this by now. I should have this like memorized, okay? But I don't. So I'm gonna look at both of these because, like I said, I had looked at Gargoyle as well, but this is cool tone, warm tone. I'm like, what do I really want to do? I feel like Nothing Else Matters. Gargoyle kind of fits that key, and then Holier Than Thou, I feel like these two go with it, but I think we're just going to use these two palettes here. I have created some absolutely just beautiful looks and fun looks with this palette, Lore. And I'm pretty sure all of these palettes are still available on the Unearthly Cosmetics website. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Okay, so I've swatched both of just the mattes. This one here, I re-swatched here because this one came from Devour. And this one it has purpley in it, but it's more deeper of a purpley red than this. And then, of course, in Devour has that more brighter red in it. And then in Devour is that gray, and then this one is the Lure. And then these two also are from Lure. And then these two greens are from Devour. I am going to use my Singe Beauty, and this is the 5, so it's a small fluffy brush. I think I'm going to go into that red. The Devour color first. All right. Let's put her here, patting, and I'm also going to bring her down on the lid in a diagonal. So I'm kind of just blending her out and getting my shape. I don't care what it looks like right now. Edge softened with this red and get my shape. Like so. And I'm gonna go in one more time just to kind of deepen up a little bit more. I'll say it again, I'm so sad that I have not been able to purchase from Unearthly lately. It's been about 3 months. You know, ever since, I've explained this before, taking away the affiliate program, and then the prices are just, and I understand I always knew that Unearthly was on the pricey side anyway, which, you know, when you could use an affiliate code, granted it's 10%, but 10% is 10%, you know what I mean? And then, you know, being here in Florida, there's taxes and then the shipping. Now, yes, you can, I think, get free shipping over a certain amount. And then she kind of started doing, like, sending you emails if you signed up on the website, and there would be these periodic sales. That's great, but if I don't have, you know, the funds at the time of the sales, regardless of how often they are, you know, I don't have that choice for myself, you know, it kind of sucks. And I'm hoping she brings back the affiliate program. Not that I was on it, but at least, you know, you could use it. Yeah, me not do a glam look. Yeah, okay then. So yeah, I took Devour out of Devour. That's what we started with. This one, Sigma, the medium sweeper E54. And I'm gonna go into Devour. I'm gonna go into the darker orange, which is Centaur. Hopefully I won't have to use a white base. If my memories, nope, I won't. Oh, I forgot how pigmented this palette is. That was just one pass with orange from my skin type. I went in one more time because I really want it dark. So now I'm just softening the edges by patting and kind of moving the product up on my hood here, because we as hooded gals. And now I'm kind of going back and forth into my, what I call my swoop of my lid here, inner corner. And I am gonna come up a little bit into that red. Just blending that reddish purple into that orange, like so. My singe, this is the 6. To blend this out here, all on the outside, I think is going to be okay. Now this is a sequin matte. And I am just lightly to blend this on the outside. I think that's okay. I think that works. I think the hubby's home. So I am gonna take this off my arm, go say hello to the hubby, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I apologize. The hubby came home late. It is fairly late, and I completed this eye. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna show you what I did with these two palettes. Of course, we started it together, right? I just finished it off camera. Now, I must say, this Revolution, have y'all used this? This is actually pretty nice in my opinion. This is a liquid eyeliner pen. It's felt tip. Look at how, like, fine line. I really do like this. And I did use this to put a little, like, cat eye point here and here. Obviously, went back in and took this shimmer snack. And what I did is I put it in the inner corner and on the lower lash line here as well. But as you can see, I brought it up and I stopped here. I put it in my swoop, what I call. And then I also put that same shimmer here, always highlighting the brow bone because I got this puffy thing going and the light hits it and it just looks so, so pretty. I guess that's the one good thing about the puffy thing going on with my hooded eye. But I brought it down further than I normally would so that there's like this space here. I don't know, trying to get creative. Okay. So I took that and that's where I put those on the inner corner and on the brow bone. Went back in to Devour and just pretty much used the same shades. Just went back and forth until I was satisfied with my blend, which I think it came out amazing in my opinion. Then just followed up with the black, Cerebrus. And then deepened it out even further, brought it in just a bit. And when I did take Devour, I took my Singe 1 and the very tip of this brush, which this is why I absolutely love this brush, on top of the fact that it picks up product amazing, is went in and just with the tip, the point of this brush, no extra product, just bringing this all the way in so that that red mixing in with the orange that we have and giving it some dimension so there's not a hard stop of shimmer. Now, did not use any glitter glue. I've used glitter glue with and without with Unearthly, and I know her shimmer formula, and I knew I wanted to be able to see the orange matte just a little bit underneath. So I didn't want it to be bam, punchy. You know what I mean? So I took this one here, Serpent, and also Griffin. That is what is on my lid. I started with Griffin here and tapped it on with my finger and then took this brighter one and just... And I'll just add a little more, why not? Just to kind of highlight that even further. Ooh, that looks even nicer with another layer. But first, before I did those two, I went into Devour. And I took Gruesome. And it's this beautiful, dark, almost like a burgundy black shimmer. And she has gold, green, purple, burgundy sparkle in her. And put that right on the outside and of course on my hood here so that you can see the shimmer on the hood. Took a Q-tip with my cellular water, cleaned that puppy up here. Did the same colors underneath as well. Took Fawn, the sequin matte, on the inner corner underneath that shimmer and brought that down here. And then I went a little step further underneath this shimmer as well and took Centaur because it's a little more of a punchier, the one we used on the inner corner here, underneath that as well. Kind of blended it. So I am just so happy how this came out. I do apologize, but you know, I had to make dinner and you know, he came home very late. Oh, another thing I want to add before I forget. Chaotic squirrel brain friend over here. Yeah, just me. Hi, how are you? Took Serpent as well and put it on top of the highlighter that I already have, which I do have the e.l.f., the new baked highlighter from e.l.f., and it's in Blush Money. This one right here that I also had in my video I did the other day. And so I just put that Serpent right with my finger all along up here, blended her in a little bit with a brush, just ever so gently, just to give it, bam. Took a lip liner from Glamlight, from the Saw collection, and then Unearthly Cosmetics Menacing Metal in Ember. It is one of my favorites. And then top it off with the Huda Beauty Filler Gloss, just clear gloss. She's that orangey gold. Love this. This came out so badass and I feel fierce, and it just came out so, so beautiful. I didn't have to dip into gargoyle like I thought. I hope you guys loved Music Inside the Makeup for this month. I hope you created right along with me. Let me know in the comments, do you have these palettes? Have you ever seen Metallica in concert, either way back in the day or even recently? I'd love to hear from you. Remember, I don't care how old you are. If you want to play with colorful eyeshadow, baby, you go right ahead. Hopefully, if you're new, subscribe, like, share. It truly does help me out. I appreciate it so, so much. And hey, I hope you stay a while. Hopefully you love the content and if anything, entertaining, you know? Thank you so much for watching. And with that, keep creating, keep rocking. Till next time.